working with graphing exponential functions. Our equations will look like this, where our a is our y-intercept, and our b would be our common ratio. And this will become more apparent when we graph it and use a t-chart. You'll be able to see this more readily. So they look like this. They're either increasing or decreasing, and you notice that they approach but they don't come all the way down to 0. So for an increasing, the b value is greater than 1, and for the decreasing, the b value is going to be greater than 0 but less than 1. So if we were looking at a value, a number value, it could be a decimal, it could be a fraction. So either one of these would be an example of what you notice in there. All right, so I'm going to change venues on this, and we're going to do a few of these questions on paper. So what is the y-intercept? Well, our y-intercept is our a value, and we write it as an ordered pair, so it would be 0 and 5. Now, the interval they want us to use in this case is -2 to 2. So I'm going to do -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So we would go all the way from the smallest to the largest of our intervals. B, how are the y values changing? Well, we don't have anything in here yet, so that's what we need to work on. So in our calculator, we are going to put this number in for x. This is our x value. So 5 times 3, and on my calculator, I use the caret button to raise it into the exponential place, and then I have -2. And I get 0.555, so I'm going to round it to the nearest hundredth, so 0.56. Okay, I've already done that for my values going forward, so let me just copy them in so that I have them and we can use them to look at. Now, the change in y value is what I'm going to look at. So I'm going to go backwards. So this is 3, this is 3, this is 3, and this is 3. So 15 times 3 gives me 45, so I multiplied by 3. So my y value is increasing. I'm getting bigger as we go down with a ratio, or with a number 3. Increasing with a number 3, or a multiple, or however you want to describe it. All right, now let's plot some of these points. All right, so we have a -2, 1, 2, and 0.56. Then we have a -1 and 1.67. Then we have 0 and 5. That's my y-intercept again. Then we have 1 and 15. And we have 2, and then we're off the chart, so it would go up there. If you notice, and I missed one of my points, if you notice, this goes up at quite a steep rate. This is our exponential graph. Looking at the one below it, we have a 1/2, so we know that we're given this situation here, and it would decrease. So we would have a decreasing graph if we were to work those. So give them a try.